Dang it, Rooster Teeth, how could you give me what I want, but not give me what I want? Hey, everybody out there in YouTube land. Jake of the OneManBand is back again, and welcome once again to another RWBY in-depth look, review, breakdown, whatever you want to call it, of World of Remnant Faunus. Now, this video is a bit late. I apologize about that, but I was on vacation with my girlfriend, so this video is coming at you a little bit late. I apologize about that once again, but this video, to be honest, didn't really give us much more information that we didn't already have. Now, one of the big focal points that a lot of people have wanted to learn about is the Faunus, the half-human, half-animal race that occupies the world of Remnant alongside with humans and Grimm. And so we were always getting more information, just little tidbits of information about the Faunus. And I was always a big advocator of, I want there to be a World of Remnant video about the Faunus. I want to learn more about the Faunus all in one big video. And so we finally got it. So I was so excited. I was like, yes, oh yes, oh yes, I'm gonna, yay, all the answers are going to be given to me. But no, nothing like that. Essentially, in this video, it just confirms everything that we've learned about the Faunus. We don't really get much new information. We get a little, but not a lot to really satisfy me. And pretty much everything that we had been given beforehand, all the information on the Faunus we've been given beforehand, is now confirmed in a video, canon, all that kind of stuff. But I know that there are new people to the series that may not be so in-depth with everything, so this video is probably primarily for them. And for that, I'm gonna be going through the information, giving you guys what needs to be known. So, we learned that the third big faction on the world of Remnant is the Faunus, alongside with the humans and the Grimm. Now, for the most part, the humans and the Faunus are on the same side, both being prey to the creatures of Grimm and the creatures of Grimm, both wanting to destroy both. Now, the Faunus are very much human, but possess animal traits. Now, whether this trait be a tail, ears, claws, it's pretty much up to what sort of species, if you will, the Faunus is, like what animal species it's taken off of. And it's also stated that the Faunus have been around pretty much for as long as the humans have, or even longer. I mean, you know, back then, way back then in history, when history wasn't written down, it can be a little hard to discern, you know, who came first, who was here first, were we both here at the same time? We don't exactly know, but it is here confirmed that they've been around pretty much for as long as humans have. So they didn't come from another planet, they didn't come from another dimension, they weren't created in some lab trying to splice human and Grimm DNA. It seems like they had just always been. Now, that might change over time with us gaining new information, but at least for now, we know that they've been along for as long as humans. And it's also here that we actually get a concrete set of rules for Faunus genetics, because that had always been a very big debate issue for fans of RWBY. Now, it had been stated before, like, how genetics in Faunus work and all that stuff like that. It's always been stated, like, by the creators, but it hasn't actually been stated in show. So now it's forever stated in show, so now everybody now knows how the genetics work. The genetics are, if two Faunus get together and they're of the same species, so as an example, two wolf Faunus get together, their babies are going to be wolf Faunus. If it's a wolf Faunus and a human that get together and make babies, there's pretty much a 50-50 chance, I think, that baby is going to be either wolf Faunus or human. Now, there's a bit of a confliction, I think, right now between what the video says and what the writers have said beforehand. And that's why I'm putting it up to a 50-50 chance. So until we get some more like concrete information, I'm just gonna say it's 50-50, you know, whatever. But basically human and Faunus can have babies together. That's another big thing that's stated, is that humans and Faunus completely compatible together. And it's also stated that if two Faunus of differing species get together, then the outcoming child is completely random. They are a Faunus, but they're completely random. So if, say, a wolf Faunus and a deer Faunus get together, have a child, that child can end up being a monkey Faunus or a lizard Faunus. Genetics are weird. It's stated that genetic scientists still haven't really figured out how it works, which really leads me to believe that these scientists really aren't doing their jobs very well, because you've had how many years of studying these people and you still haven't figured it out? I mean, I don't know how or when genetic science entered the world of Remnant, but it's like, you would think that they would at least have some idea of how it works. Now, the Faunus do have certain attributes about them that make them in a way superior to humans. We know that previously that they have pretty much all Faunus have enhanced night vision so that they can see at night. I assume that they maybe have enhanced hearing, much like their animal counterparts. And of course, if they have claws, they can use the claws as weapons. If they have tails, they can use the tails as another limb. Sun, he uses his tail to hang himself from things, so his tail has some muscle in it. And at the beginning of this video, Crow even states that he has seen a reptilian Faunus grow back a severed tail. So not only do we know that they're a reptile Faunus, but we also know that reptilian Faunus seem to have some form of advanced healing factor. So that's very important. I would love to see some freaking reptilian Faunus in future episodes now. Now, at the beginning, when early man and early Faunus first met each other, man didn't take too kindly to the whole idea of this creepy half human, half animal thing just being there, because humans always fear what they don't understand. So Faunus existing, Faunus living near them led to a lot of persecution, fear, anger, lots of discord between these two species. Now, this makes a lot of sense. You know, it leads up to how it is right now with the White Fang and the humans and all that stuff, because it started off like, I won't say innocently, but naturally, how humanity didn't, like, feared what they didn't understand. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you were walking through the woods and you saw somebody with freaking horns coming out of their head, you would be all like, demon, it's a demon! You wouldn't, like, you know, oh, I'm gonna go up and hug it. You know, it's like, no. Humans fear what they don't understand, and I'm pretty sure that Faunus also feared humans, because now we have, the Faunus are looking at humans, well, they don't have, you know, animal characteristics. What are these things? You know, they're probably just as scared. So we have these two species that are both scared, they fear, and they're angry at one another. But there is one common factor that brought them together, and that is the Grimm. The Grimm is the one factor that brought humans and Faunus together. So that they lived together, they fought together. There was an example where the only reason a village survived a Grimm attack way back in the day is because the human inhabitants and the Faunus inhabitants settled their differences, put them aside, and worked together to repel the creatures of Grimm. And it's there that humans and Faunus decided, well, we can work together. We can still occupy the same world as them. But of course, you're always going to have the extreme cases on both sides. You're going to have the Schnee dust companies that's going to use the Faunus as almost as a slave labor force. You're going to have people like the White Fang who take their Faunus pride to an extreme, to the point where they think that they need to destroy all humans in order to have a utopia of a world, if you will. Now, it wasn't until the Great War, that is the Great War that happened about 80 years ago in RWBY, that the Faunus finally got their equal rights. And this is probably from the actual White Fang, the original White Fang movement that actually strove for peace with the humans and to promote equal rights among the humans. And also, when it talks about the Great War, we learned that there were two warring factions. There was Vale and Vacuo and Mantle and Mistral. Those were the two sides that fought against each other. So it was Team V versus Team M. They fought each other for many, many years. And it's from this war that the Faunus were able to get their equal rights. The original White Fang rose up into power to help promote Faunus influence and equal rights throughout the world. And it even earned the Faunus their own land, their own place to live, Menagerie. Now, Menagerie is in the southeast part of Remnant, and it's there where Blake and Sun are currently heading towards. There is a safe haven for Faunus, and I'm thinking that it's primarily Faunus that live there. Now, it's stated as a safe haven and like the capital of Faunusdom on Earth, and it's probably from Menagerie that the White Fang was actually birthed. You put so many Faunus together, eventually they're going to come together and form something, and that probably led to the White Fang being formed, and they were probably the like evangelists, if you will, that went out into the rest of the world to help promote, Faunus. But of course, it got more violent, it got bad, Adam, all that bad stuff happened with the White Fang. Now the White Fang is forever tainted! But I am guessing that the Faunus that are on Menagerie are just as peaceful as the people in the other kingdoms. They're just trying to get by, they're just trying to survive, and most likely, they just probably want to be left alone and, left in a place, in an area where they can survive and call their own, raise their families, and, not be killed by Grimm. I don't think that Menagerie is going to rise up with the White Fang to take the war to the humans. I think the White Fang is just a very like Blake said, the White Fang is just a very misguided group of extremist Faunus. We're going to see a very different type of Faunus in Menagerie. At least I hope so in the next episode. Hey, everybody out there in YouTube land. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed. Be sure to like and favorite if you did. Subscribe, of course, if you feel inclined to. Be sure to check out some other videos that I've done. Links down in the description. And there's going to be also some links to social media sites. And, of course, to my Patreon if you want to support me that way. Big thanks to all my Patreon sponsors. You guys are awesome. I love you guys very much, and I'll see you guys next time I'm out there in YouTube land. Be a good person, tip your waitresses, keep moving forward. I'll see you next time.